Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello everybody, welcome back to IGP Fun here at Circuit Zolder, possibly the most difficult track on this entire calendar. I am joined by Austin Knight for the first time in a long time. Glad to have him back, and in the production booth we have Samuli Kumo, the absolute Chad on broadcast today. Austin, how are you feeling on your return to IGP Fun?
I'm feeling good. It was a good refresher. I am not at a crazy stadium full of crazy people, so we are all good here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think that was the first time I ever heard the word Chad used in a production intro.
Well,
outside of somebody's name.
Or country, probably. I wonder if anyone from Chad has ever done sim racing. But...
You know, I feel like that is a good question.
most of like that Central African part you don't see very often, like sort of Chad, Congo, Uganda. But, you know, you might have a few people here and there. Of course, in IGP Fun, very diverse. We've got people mainly from Europe. We've got a few people from Canada, the US. Got a couple people all over the place, mainly though in Europe. And currently, we have a European leading by 0.4 of a second. Marto once again on top of the timing sheet. In practice, it wasn't looking that quick, but then just pulled a lap out of his backside as he usually does. And, well, setting a near world record, actually. That's very close. I think he's only about 500ths off the best time ever set around this track.
Does he hold the world record?
I think he does. I think he told me earlier this week he set the world record right after I set it. I genuinely, I posted on my social media that I'd beaten the world record, and he said, okay, bet, and went and beat it by about 1/10 of a second. So, yeah, Marto doing Marto things as everyone else struggling around this track. It is a pretty difficult track.
Insert shocked Pikachu. Just...
Yeah, it's possibly the least surprising thing anyone has ever heard.
Marto being fast? What?
Exactly. It's not very surprising. Oh, Baruch actually getting very close to the time. Only about 400ths off. Closest we've seen to Marto so far. But everyone else still struggling for pace a little bit. We've got about 2 and a bit minutes left in this qualifying session, of course. If you are on a lap, you are allowed to finish it compared to some other leagues out there, which you are not. But in this league you are, which I agree with. I think it should be standardized rule across iRacing. Kind of makes sense. If you're on a lap, you should be allowed to finish it. But hey ho, it's not always the case. But sometimes you just got to roll with what you're given. But so far, at the top, Marto and Maruk storming away. But from 3rd all the way down to 10th, there's Glamsetter going for a little spin.
He's practicing with donuts right there.
Glamsetter getting prepared for an amazing result later on. Hopefully he can best his result of 4th place last time out. We'll see what he can do. Our last time winner, of course, Jerome Lamy, for nearly half a second off Marto at the top. These two, of course, Marto and Jerome, the two main championship protagonists. And, well, Austin, I would ask, who do you think is going to become victorious this season?
That is not a question.
Yeah, I can predict your answer.
That is as much as trying to predict the world champion 5 versus to go in the Formula 1 season.
Well, this season that was easy.
Yeah, this season it's pretty much already locked in.
Yeah, I mean it is sort of similar. They're both Dutch. I mean, maybe Marto is secretly related to Max Verstappen somehow and has inherited
don't give him that satisfaction. He will not be quiet.
I mean, he's as dominant as him this season.
This is true.
I mean,
ooh.
Not quite sure who that was. That was Barris.
Yeah, that was Victor Barris and In the Wall. Also, I need to shout out to the Hydra Race Racing Forces team for caring about my health when they saw me just in a cloud of black flare smoke. Totally fine.
Did they actually?
Yeah, they did. They asked, "Is this what causes confusions with you?" And I'm like, "No, this is pretty much normal."
Oh, good on them. I did not know that. I mean,
yeah. Well,
always
hey,
good to see fellow sim racers looking out for each other.
Well, hey, when a sim racer just decides to go, yeah, I'm just gonna join a football ultra and just set off flares after every goal, you get kind of worried for you, especially if you're American.
I mean, we don't actually get many flares in this country. We just get people chanting abuse at each other, which, in my opinion, I prefer. It's so much funnier, just especially when you've got two rival teams like Tottenham and Arsenal. You just get two people screaming their heads off at each other. The worst insults you'll ever hear, apart from maybe a Modern Warfare 2 lobby. But,
I feel like Call of Duty is always the worst that you can get.
Oh,
anyway, back to iRacing, where there's never been any drama on the voice chats at all.
I
supposed to just keep on rolling and not think about that. Just come on. Back to the ones with cars.
I mean, I'm not gonna comment who this person is because
just keep on going. Don't need it.
It's about
try to segue. Just try to segue. Keep it going.
I do know someone who has a 6-month ban on iRacing.
Keep it going. Do not talk about it. Keep it going.
Oh yeah, let's
Zolder. Anyway, curbs and everything.
The curbs on this track are very deadly, as I experienced yesterday. I looped it at turn 4 and nearly lost the championship, but because I'm a Chad, I kept out and I won the championship. And that's
I feel like you're trying. I feel like you're just trying to just shoehorn that in whenever you can.
I will every single time we go through turn 4.
I want to be mad at you, but I'm impressed.
Oh, when he loses the rear. Right at the end of qualifying.
Well, that's how you end it out, and that's how we're about to start this baby up. Qualifying is over as everybody is getting ready to rock and roll here at Zolder. As it is Q2 Marto starting up on pole, followed by Lucas Maruk and Samuel Hermer, Jerome Lamley, Christian Glamsetter in 5th place, followed by Max Bartolota, Clemens Punzengruber, Alex Leno, and Nicholas Westman, Tony Jimenez, and Kenzie Nianwa and Evan Way in 12th place. Behind them is Alistair Hay, Robert Ridgway, Andy Flint, and Pedro Soares. Victor Barris and Julio Palacio in 18th, followed by Darren Roldson, Steven Ritters, Adam Talsma, Luca Verani, Lee Aberdeen, and Clark Williams in 24th. Zolta's Zone Motor, Martin Devine, Jason Wilkinson, Richard Van Veen, Brett Thurman, Marcelo Kessler, Simon Fessy, Marcus Pudikas, and Stu Millen, followed by Gaten Imhoff and Shady Ahmad and Kuji Ido in 36th place. and they're followed by Marquez Otrovs, Potapenko in 38th place, followed by Daniel Lem and Chuck Maru. Linus Malm and Paolo Breme, Reed Dennis, Irvin Tumacans, Nick Carney, Matt Brewer, John McKenzie, and Joseph Guravala in 48th place. Our final positions are Patrick Rowlands, Artolov Mygora, Dorian Arroyo, and Devin Kearns at the end of our 52-car grid. I do know one driver is not going to be making the start line as they had to go to work a last-minute call-up, so we will not be seeing a full 52-car start off the line, but everybody else is right here and ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I think it was Itoa, I think, that had to go. I'm not sure, but yes, one of the drivers unfortunately had to go off to work. I mean, I'd call in sick just so I could do this race.
It was Ito.
Yeah, I thought so, but we're about to go green. We're about to go IGP Fun for the 10th time this season. And it's lights out, and away we go. Marteau getting a very, very good start. Maruk falling down to Samuel Hermer already before we even get to turn 1. And of course, you are allowed to overtake the driver in the opposite lane in front of you, but apart from that, you cannot make any other overtakes as Samuel Hermer and Jerome Langley now going side by side through turn 2. These two Brits need to be careful. It's the early stages. Don't make any stupid mistakes. As they head now through turn 4, Marteau has already a pretty sizable lead, and I am going to be certain. Yeah, I'm going to be certain that that's going to get even bigger as we go into turn 5 now. That's Westman trying to go for a move on Jimenez and gets it all wrong and loses out to Neuenhoff. But so far, a fairly clean start overall.
Yeah, Neuenhoff just taking up the advantage as Westman tried to go for the overtake heading into that chicane. And a lot of drivers, I feel like we're just looking down the inside, just trying to find that breaking point. But Neuenhoff is in the right place, right time to be making that overtake on the exit as Westman tried to go for that move. Here's another move. Max Bartolotto looking down to the inside at the hairpin, just staying on the gearbox of Glam Center. He's got Aledo right behind him as well, and a very clean first lap from all these drivers.
Yes, a lot cleaner than the officials, I'll have to say, is every single official I've been in has been absolute chaos. But yeah, it's always good to see nice, clean racing as Stephen Ryder's losing a few positions there coming out of the hairpin. He was up to 18th place, but just got it all wrong. There's Luca Verani and Lee Aberdeen going nearly side by side into turn 1, but Luca just staying ahead for now. Of course, Luca, the league admin for IGP Fun, running that spectacular purple and yellow livery, almost looking like a Cadbury chocolate bar, looking smooth as hell as always. As yeah, you can see everyone chucking up pieces of gravel coming out of turn 4. That's kind of what you want to do in this car, as everyone trying to size up a move into the chicane. It's very difficult to overtake at this track, but so far, a little bump there.
Thurman. And
yeah,
that's
Thurman.
broken the wing. The front wing is really bent right there. Thurman, he carried a lot of speed through there, but unfortunately it's just a little bit too much and nowhere to go. And he's going to have to nurse that car back into the pit lane as we head into another one of these chicanes. Classic Zolder chicane. And a spin off the exit. Now we get our first big incident into the wall. And we got a car park off the exit. And they are covering the entire track. There is one lane open. And it's just a massive collision and a car park on the outside of the track as everybody is collected up in their bruised, banked up, broken, damaged, and distraught at the exit of that chicane. And I believe it was started all with Stu Millen.
Yeah, I think it was. There was 7 cars involved in that overall, 4 of which are now towed, and yeah, just taps him, not really an overtake
43.
opportunity.
But Daniel Lem just was on the outside. Stu Millen and Daniel Lem were the first cars involved in there, and I believe we're going to be seeing a lot of cars into the pit lane. And this is one of the worst pit lanes to have a mistake in, as we saw one of the cars spinning around, and Jerome Lammy's around, and that's Gaten Imhoff crashed in the pit lane. And if you know my tier list of worst pit lanes in the world, not just on iRacing, this is near the top. But it's also made a little bit harder because Gaten Imhoff is driving a tricycle.
Yeah, yeah. When you're driving on 3 wheels into the pit lane, Yeah, that's pretty inevitable, and yeah, I'm going to agree with you that this pit lane is pretty terrible by all things considered, but
it's still not Laguna's taken.
I'd say
and around is Kearns.
I would say Laguna's better, but yeah, that was a clumsy mistake from Kearns there at the exit of the second chicane. And he's going to try and get back on the track and runs it into the wall and now has front wing damage. He's probably going to bring it back on into the pits. Very disappointing race for some of these guys early on, as even for the likes of Jerome, who has a championship on the line, doesn't have any drop rounds to spare compared to Marteau, who does, I think, have one more left. And yeah, Jerome just, I don't know, I wouldn't expect him to make this kind of mistake.
I feel like he's missed a corner. Just missed the break point completely. Oh no, well, he's missed a corner, and then he's hit the bump, and he's pretty much gave himself a small little bit of flight time. I think he's been dabbling in flight simulators, just trying to get his flight hours up.
Well, I mean, he'd be great as
Andy
a
Flint's had an issue.
He has.
He's going very slow.
A lot of issues for these guys in the early parts of this race. This track is very punishing, but I think he's gotten away without any damage. I can't see anything on the car in terms of damage. No, I think he's fine to carry on, but he has lost a lot of places. And Maruk has overtaken Marteau for the lead.
Yeah, Lucas Maruk, your new leader of the race, and that's kind of surprising. QTR Marteau last lap put in the fastest lap of the race. Well, Lucas Maruk was right there when he needed to be and makes the move for the lead. Lucas Maruk, the Canadian, the defending champion of iGPFun, still giving it a little bit of fight to QTR Marteau, saying, I'm still here, baby, and you're going to have to fight me for it. And I believe Marteau was one of his 3 races of last season was at Zolder, where he had a race-ending incident in that first chicane where he got launched up into the air and ended up turned around and couldn't go for the race victory last season.
Well, actually, it wasn't race-ending. He was in last on lap 1, but then amazingly fought back to P4, I think. Narrowly missed out on P3. It was an amazing drive, but
I'm just trying to build a narrative here.
I'm adding to the narrative.
It was a very impressive recovery tonight.
it was spectacular. As he showed me the setup that he used, but speaking of the setup he's using, it's paying dividends right now as he's going into turn 1 slightly ahead of Maruk, but Maruk still has a little bit of car just there, but just has to back out of it. As
beautiful slide job.
Yeah, these guys.
Uh-oh. Jimenez, Ninehoff, and Punzengruber, 3-car collision at turn 1.
And that's Punzengruber out of this race. He does not have a right front wheel, and neither does Neuenhoff. Disappointing for those two.
Oh my god. Was that Divine upside down?
What?
How did he get there? Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Wow. That's
I've never seen that happen.
Neither have I. Okay, wow, that's
well, that's a WWE moment if I've ever seen one.
Things you only see in Belgium. 101. But these guys, am I the only one that's surprised of how many incidents we've had so far? Like, I know it's Zolder, but I'm shocked. I thought people would be a little bit more conservative considering it's Zolder, but no, Soros trying to go for a move on Evan Way into the hairpin, but can't quite get it done. It is very difficult.
These are sim racers, baby. You think we're going to go safe for 1 lap? Yeah, 1 lap is just a little bit too much for us. When we get the green light, they're going to go. Jimenez is heading into the pits. Talsma has had an issue behind them, and I think this is at the hairpin, and yes, it's actually the final chicane, and that's going to be a risky rejoin. I think everybody knows that he's right there, but it is definitely a clench moment and a Code Brown moment, but he's found a piece of grass and a piece of track that nobody is on. Surprising enough, because Zolder is one of the shortest tracks on the calendar. So let's ride on board of Ridgeway as he's closing down on Petrosaurus. Soros hits the curbing at the entry of that corner. Here comes Ridgeway. Ridgeway has got a lot of pace. He's going to try to hold around the outside. We're riding on board of Victor Paris right behind him. Ridgeway unfortunately couldn't get into the brake zone. And out of nowhere, here comes Darren Rollinson picking up the pieces.
It's lap 7. It's lap 7, and we're
And
getting
here comes Rollinson again. Rollinson gets a little bit loose and crashed right in front of the Ridgeway and Rollinson. And we got another crash in the hairpin. And more crashes in the chicane. And chaos here at Zolder.
We had Clark and Andy Flint joining that crash and crashing themselves out of this race. What is going on here at Zolder? These guys just need to keep it on the track, but no one can seem to do it. But yeah, let's watch what happened to Andy Flint.
Oh, this is so unfortunate for Andy Flint because they crashed right in front of him. There was pretty much nowhere for him to go. He tried to continue on the line and just got ripped off. Actually, he was, I believe that was
Williams.
Yeah, that was Clark Williams, who was the one who collected the front wings and just got pushed into Andy Flint right there. So Andy Flint, kind of innocent party and all that, and he's continued to stay on, even though I believe I see some front wing damage on that car. But yeah, chaos here at Zolder.
Can I also just mention the amount of position changes we've had? I mean, Simon Fessy up 16 places, Linus Mam up 20, Patrick Rowlands up 21. These guys are having an absolute field day.
Arroyo also up 21 as well.
Yeah, these guys are going absolutely crazy. There's a battle, as you can see, going into the chicane. Not quite sure who that was in front, but these guys not giving an inch towards each other, already bashing each other out of the way and sometimes out of this race. But, I mean, look at the gaps as well between the drivers already. There's very few battles actually going on up the front. It's mainly the midfield what we're looking at right now, about the mid-pack sort of 25th to 20th place, where everyone is still close together. But apart from that, the top 10 are separated by 17 seconds as there goes Stu Milne, Reed Dennis on Stu Milne. And that was a fairly easy overtake, it seemed, for Dennis, who moves his way up into 25th place. We'll see if Stu Milne tries to come back at him into turn 1, but I don't think he is. It is very difficult to follow another car through that final corner as the dirty air just pushes you onto the grass. He's going to look towards the inside, but just has to stay behind for now. And Reed Dennis is now firmly in 25th place. But Marteau, we didn't even mention, is back into the lead, about 6 tenths ahead of Lucas Marouk. And it'll be interesting to see those two go head-to-head as Reed Dennis just almost gives up the place to Stu Milne.
Well, it was an easy opportunity. And also, if you're wondering if your favorite driver in iGPFun, I'll just going to read you a list of the drivers that have visited the pit lane. Gaten Imhoff, Lee Aberdeen, Julio Policio, Jerome Lamley, Clemens Punziger, Clark Williams, Darren Rollinson, Joseph Garalva, Kenzie Nywolf, Martin Devine, Daniel Lim, Bodapenko, Shady Ahmad, and Marcus Otzloff, Robert Ridgway, and Tony Jimenez have all made a visit to the pit lane. And I'm pretty sure that is a full third of the grid that have had a incident so far and gone to the pit lane. I feel like we're going to have a little bit of more. Nick Carty and Tuma Khans were off the track.
Yeah, incidents are plenty here today.
And here's Magora.
This chicane again. This seems to be incident heaven for these guys. It's not
so
a corner.
tricky. It's so tricky.
It's not a corner you can really battle into. There's just not enough room, and these guys just think, oh, we're going to do it anyway. But Glamsetter at the moment in 4th place, very good for him so far, as we're on lap 10 of this race. I nearly said Grand Prix, can't do that. Glamsetter, I think his best finish of all time is 4th place, which he got last weekend. So hopefully he'll be wanting to match that, as they're going to have to make their way through some lapped traffic now, as that's the 32 going off the track to avoid these guys. Very smart thinking there, as I was mentioning, really difficult to overtake, let alone pass back markers. But Loido now eyeing up a chance. Ooh, just about keeps it off the track. And now Barcelota's going to have a go at Loido into turn 1, and he moves ahead.
Ooh, big slide. Oh, cuts across the nose, slide job, pretty much dirt track racing right here at Zolder on the opposite side of the world. But he made that move work, even with the back end of that car all over the place. And he still managed to hold it down. A beautiful move, and heads up driving by Alex Leto. He saw the car slide up, and he just probably backed out of it right there to keep that car alive and keep this race going. And Bartolota is closing in on Glamsetter ahead of him. He could get 2 and 1, and a big curb jump by Bartolota.
Yeah, I have noticed that all week. Some of these guys are taking a lot of that inside curb at turn 5, and it can work. I think it's all there's Luedo taking too much of that curb. Yeah, I think it more or less depends on the kind of setup you're running and throttle inputs, because you can take a lot of these curbs. You just have to get it spot on pretty much, and it is slightly quicker. But in my opinion, it's not quite worth the risk. I'd rather just be safe and take a little bit less of the curb and have a smoother exit. As
Westman's background would got into the gravel just a little bit off the exit of that hairpin, and he's dropped off the pace of Lato. Now he might be falling under clutches to pay, but he is separated by 3 seconds. That's actually a lap car behind him. But we go back to this fight in 4th place, Glamsetter versus Bartolota, as they continue their fight for 4th, as Max still closing it down and just biding his time. Lato, he's back there, but he's just being a lot more cautious than Max right now. And Lato's actually had an incident. He's gone off the track. Yeah,
he's losing a chunk of time. I think he's
he's where that cloud of gravel was in the sky, and I believe I can put two together. He went a little bit wide.
I think he genuinely did make the that's Morrow off at turn 1. But yeah, I think Luedo did exactly. Yeah, I can't speak for 2 seconds.
Matt, that's the wrong way.
What is he doing? Come on, Matt, flick spin it. Come on. Wait for people.
He's back in reverse. Get it back in reverse. Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out.
This is painful.
Come on, Matt. Go, you're clear.
There we go. Took him long enough to flick spin it round, but yeah.
I shouldn't be laughing that he was going backwards, but it just looked like he just kept it in reverse for a while. Banging wheels and contact on the front straightaway. Bartolota and Glamsetter into the gravel, and that is a wheel missing for Max Bartolota. Christian Glamsetter and Max Bartolota contact heading into turn 1, banging on the straightaway, and that is 2 cars out of this race, and Max is definitely going to retire that missing right rear wheel. And that is going to be a heated discussion between these two.
I'm going to say right off the back that was Max's fault. It was kind of the same. I don't know if anyone remembers Vettel and Webber at Turkey in 2010. It kind of reminded me of that. Max kind of just moved over on Glamsetter, as we're going to get a replay of it now.
As on the inside line, and yeah, he's kind of forcing himself a little bit right. And Glamsetter, well, he said, you're taking the inside line. I'm just going to just keep you down there, as that is my defensive line. He didn't really make any moves, and I believe Max is just trying to get the elbows down and trying to force a little bit of space for him. So yeah, I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah, Max just tried to make himself space in this round. He was one of our drivers who was making big gains.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He can try again. He's still up a lot of places.
Rollins, though, up 26 places. And that is the car at the lead of this pack.
This is what I love. When it's that's another car off.
That is Pat. I just coughed and cursed him.
What did you do? No.
I said he was up 26 places.
Oh, Austin, that's bad.
Literally that is instant commentator's curse. I am so sorry, Patrick.
The second you opened your little commentator mouth, everything went wrong.
I'm gone for 2 weeks, and this is the chaos. Oh my god, that is so unlucky. Spun car on the apex, but he's kept it out of the wall, though.
Just about, but I don't think he'll be looking at it that way.
Yeah, he's gonna see it as like I leave for 2 weeks, I come back, and everything goes wrong.
Yeah, as soon like the last 2 weeks when we had Tim here, it's been all clean, it's been calm, and then you come back and it's chaos. This is what Austin brings. He just brings chaos. You're an agent of chaos. That's as Luedo and Westman having a battle for and that's.
Source is just having connection issues.
Yeah, but I was slightly concerned there. But
Westman looking in on Lato around the outside. Lato, though, goes a little bit deep into the brake zone. Got a little bit of the gravel on the outside, but Alex Lato, well, he's definitely using all the track to his advantage, and as a shield right behind him. Westman He's going to try to find a way past. He's on that gearbox. Nicholas Westman, the Finnish driver, trying to get around Pedro. And, well, Alex Lato, I'm not sure why I was trying to say Pedro Soares. He's down to 8th.
Completely the wrong driver. I think they're for the same team, but
they are the same team.
Yeah, not quite the right car there, Austin. But we're having a lot of moving and battling right now as Barris gets past Soares, as he struggles with internet connection problems.
I think that's why I looked at Pedro.
Oh no, that's just.
We're just going a little bit deep into the brake zone, but he kept it nice and clean right there. Look at Verani in 11th, and he's closing down on Steven Ritters. Verani's having a good day as well. I feel like after this race, though, he might be having a small headache.
Yeah, Luca watching all the incidents unfold, he's benefiting from them, but he won't in 2 hours' time. He'll be watching this race going, oh no, what have you all done?
And then probably sack him.
Yeah, probably. Because you're commentating, cursing everyone. The second
oh no, there's John McKenzie. He's off the track.
Another driver. I
didn't commentate as curse John yet.
We should just be ticking off drivers on a list at this point. Just like, yeah, you've had one.
Oh no! Magora!
How has he done that?
That's flipping around the exit of turn 1 upside down, and that is number 2 of the upside down list here today. And this is a side-by-side fight.
He was a lap down.
That noise?
No, I'm just laughing.
Oh, he's just gone deep. Got it. Oh, no. Brewer!
No. What? How would... What?
Oh.
iRacing physics. Make it make sense.
This is the worst luck that Matt has had in a race.
Oh
no,
God.
Brett Thurman is at an incident. That car's destroyed.
Oh my God.
And off the track's petrol.
What is going on? I thought officials were bad. I don't even know what to say. These guys, man. I mean, it's hilarious, but like, just calm down for 5 seconds.
Half the field's been in the pits.
We're already lapped cars up to 20.
We got another car at the wall.
This is a podcast, not a commentary anymore. Lucas Mook trying to make his way through back markers. I think that's a Royal Holland. Yeah, it is. Oh my God, yeah, Lucas Mook is not going to be happy about that. Lucas has lost about 1.5 seconds just in that middle sector alone. And I'm not quite sure why Dorian isn't moving out of the way. Blue flags, I believe they are?
Yes, they're a thing. I'm not sure why this is not happening, though, but I think it's going to be solved in about 5 seconds.
Yeah, I don't... I'm struggling to comprehend what Dorian...
Well, he's trying to hold... He's going to try to say that he's racing Irwin's behind him because he doesn't want to get that spot up. And Samuel Herbert's in the pit lane.
Oh, yeah,
Herbert from third place is in the pits.
I can't see any damage on the front wing anyway.
The rear car looks okay.
That's a car behind him. I think it's a lap down.
That's the 46.
What's happened to Samuel?
Oh, he's probably got a incident penalty of off tracks.
It would be a drive-through, no?
It's stop and go.
Oh no, that was
that was damage.
Yeah,
I'm guessing he got suspension
repair.
damage. I'm guessing he picked up suspension damage.
Probably. That's really unfortunate for Samuel, who's now down in 16th position. God, this is an absolutely just race of attrition. No one wants to keep it on the track. Luca Verani, who at one point we were saying were fighting for like what, 20th position? He's now fighting for the top 10. Simon
and
Fessy
he's got someone Fessy
position
behind him, up 20 spots exactly. Our biggest mover. Well, we got a 3-way tie at 23 overtakes. Dorian Arroyo, Patrick Rowland again, and John McKenzie.
I like the guys who started at the back are like, yes. As there's Simon Fessy going for a big send on.
Oh, he's made that work beautifully. That is a beautiful move right there on Luca Verani. Simon Fessy up in a 10th, and he gets 21 overtakes here today. As here is Luca on the attack, but Fessy, he wants more. He's looking after Steven Ritters as we go on the front straightaway.
I think Ronnie probably is just going to try and sit behind and then overtake Steven.
Oh, big slide.
Yeah, but I mean, going through turn 1, you can kind of slide the car about and he'll be fine. Andy Flint trying to make his way past Richard Van Veen. Got pinched on the inside of turn 1. Richard has the inside line for turn 2. Just about going to stick ahead, but Andy Flint is coming back at him through turn 3 as they go side by side through turn 4. Andy is just going to edge ahead. Richard Van Veen does not want any piece of Andy Flint. Yeah, didn't really want to battle. And the car number 13 is in 13th place. That's fitting.
Everything is right in the world. Perfectly balanced, as everything should be. Half the cars have been in the pits, and the 13th car is in 13th.
Absolute perfection. This race has been absolutely amazing. Me and Austin are going to, I don't even know after this race, but probably reconsider our life thoughts. And that's Robert Ridgway off the track. Down in 31st place. Glamsetter trying to make a comeback after his earlier incident with Max Bartolota, but has a lot to do as he has to make up 37 seconds to the next car in 15 laps, which, unless he's driving a Formula 2 car, I don't think it's going to be possible.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be possible, especially because everybody's in Formula 3 cars. And, well, if even Formula 2 compared to Formula 3, that will be a huge ask as well. As this is Marcelo Kessler struggling, but round the outside of turn 1, Samuel Hermer with a beaut of a move after moving that car into the pit lane, getting that faster pair. And now he's just sliding up through the field and carving his way back up. Well, he's trying to get back into third, but that is a massive ask right there. But he is going to be having a good time so far on this track and just enjoying these overtakes and hopefully avoiding any incidents. Simon Fessy, he's in a fight as well, and I believe that is with Steven Ritters up ahead of him.
It is indeed, and I will hence a bet that Steven... I don't know if he'll try and fight Fessy. I mean, he's got nothing to lose if he does, but Fessy, as we know, is a fairly quick driver. I mean, you don't gain 21 positions and be inside the top 10 without being slow. So, you got to argue that Simon's going to do this pretty soon. Like now.
There we go.
Into turn 1. Up the inside.
But Ritters is right there holding around the outside. Steven Ritters proving it wrong. Keeping 9th place.
I was expecting him to give up the position, but fair play, Steven, with an absolutely
elbows out, baby.
defense.
He's going for it.
no complaints here. He's going to make life difficult for Simon, as this is the battle for 9th place. Luca just rubbing his hands together like, ha 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 ha. These guys
and probably shaking his head. No.
Rubbing his hand and shaking his head at the same time. Actually,
that'll be hard. That's hard to do. Yeah, I'm trying to do it right now. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's weird. It's like trying to pat your head and rub your belly at the same time.
Oh, that's so fun to try.
It was the most fun activity as a 10-year-old. It was a flex in primary school, but I'm not sure Simon is going to be trying to do that right now. Is he going to go for a send into the
big send!
Yes, he is.
Oh, it's same opportunity as he did at Luca Ferrari, and he makes it stick, but Ritters is still there around the outside. He's got a front wing onto the inside right now. They're still side by side heading into that final alternate turn right there, and Ritters gives that spot to Simone Fessy. Fessy, that hairpin has got his name all over. He's got 2 cars with it now, Luca Ferrari and Steven Ritters.
Yeah, he really does love to just I bet he puts the brake bias to like 50 or something and just sends it into the corner and makes his way through. He's got a bit of lap traffic in front of him who hopefully will move out the way, and yes, he does. But yeah,
no, they kept speed. They keep speed, and that's going to be unfortunate for Ritter. Almost making contact right there. And here comes Luca Ferrani. Is Ferrani going to be making a move? Ferrani's on that gearbox. He's a little bit too close and too late to be making a move heading into that chicane, but he definitely had an opportunity to go there if he wanted to get the elbows out and put the aggression meter up to 11 and probably through the roof.
Yeah, I think Luca is a very passive driver. He doesn't really go for any moves unless he has to.
Also,
and he is a
very Westman and Lato.
Westman coming back at Laredo. I thought Laredo was starting to pull away, but maybe a mistake from Laredo. But nevertheless, Westman is on the back of Laredo. Is he going to pull out into turn one? Not quite. He's just going to back off.
He's waiting for his moment.
Yeah, that's the most important thing around this track. You have to be so careful about what opportunity you are going to take when overtaking. As if you try to go for a wrong move, it could put you on the back foot, or you could crash. It really is one of the most technical and strategic tracks on the entire Formula 3 calendar. And I kind of love it for that. It makes you really think and work. And also, as we've seen many times throughout this race, it makes you maybe try and not crash. But some of these drivers not exactly taking that advice to heart.
This track is one of the hardest tracks to race in any single-seater car because of the curves, because of the bumps, because of how tight it is. This is a very GT favorite track. I know this is the home of DTM racing here at Zolder, so it is a very sports car-esque track, and it's kind of showing its difficulty to these Formula cars, which I hopefully do not see this track on any Formula schedule ever again. Then again, I'm biased against this track, but I think this race is definitely proving my point.
I'm very different with this track. I like it and I hate it. I'm good at it, but I hate racing around it. And I'm good at this track. I'm quick around it, but the racing is just so awful. And yeah, as we've seen, incidents are plenty around this track, no matter what series you're doing. iGPFun, known for being a clean series. Even IGP can't survive the wrath of Zolder. Even last season we had a very chaotic race, and it's very entertaining, but for these drivers, entertaining is probably not the word they use.
Yeah, they would probably look back this race and just think chaos, chaos, chaos. Though I think some of the drivers will think chaos, some of them will think other words, and Marteau just probably just thinking, eh.
Well, last season, I think his feelings were very mixed after that incident. But
he was proud of himself to get back into fourth and into the top 5, but he was also mad.
Yeah, because it's like when you make a comeback like that, it's like I could have won by 1 million seconds, but instead I came fourth.
Well, yeah, he's up 8 seconds now, and I feel like he doesn't have to worry about that, as Westman is right there with Lato holding around the outside. Can he try to do what Steven Ritters did, but unfortunately didn't have the line to make that work, as Lato stays up there in third.
Yeah, this is probably the closest battle we're going to get continuously throughout the whole race. Other closest battle is the battle for 13th between Richard Van Veen, Samuel Hermer, and Zamota.
Got Zoltan up ahead as Samuel is just looking at them. Richard Van Veen is in the middle of this little bit of a sandwich. Right there, we got Zoltan up ahead, Samuel right behind, and Richard Van Veen is stuck in the middle with you on your screens.
I just did that reference. That is a banging chin.
It is a great song.
It is a really good song. I've heard so many different versions, but the original always smacks, and it is such a good song, and it should be playing right now. Samuel Herber, though, is probably playing Darude Sandstorm in his head, or something upbeat, to try and get past these
this is
two.
going to get sketchy! No! Latch car on the inside. Samuel Herbert tried to sneak it down there, trying to hold around that latch car. Unfortunately, making contact with Richard Van Veen. He's giving the spot back to Richard Van Veen, but unfortunately, too much Darude Sandstorm in your case. You can see the 77, the latch car was letting everybody by, but he wasn't really, just no pace, and Hermer, he wanted to hold around the outside and clear that latch car. Unfortunately, it's just the wrong timing, wrong time, wrong place for all these drivers. Two-car incident, Hermer and Van Veen collision at the first chicane as they go side by side with the 77 again, but this time they make it past each other, and I feel like they get to restart their fight now, but unfortunately, it's not for 13th, it's now the fight for 15th.
I don't know if they will be able to fight, because Samuel Hermer does have front wing damage now.
Yes.
But we'll see what Samuel Hermer can do from here on in, but I will have to say that's more on the 77. He could have slowed down a lot more and let them through so much easily. He just put himself in such an awkward position in that chicane. And
I feel like he just didn't want to brake check anybody behind him and just cause panic. Which it's such a tight chicane. I know where you're going from. I know where you're coming from on that. Like, it's so tight, but there's no escape road right there. There's nothing you couldn't do besides slam on the brakes, which is the only foreseeable outcome. But you know,
I mean, if I was
they're
in
racing in a tough race, and sometimes heads, brains go out the window. They just go race.
Well, that's most of the time. But Samuel Hermer, with that front wing damage, says no, I don't have any, and is still trying to attack himself onto Richard Van Veen.
Hopefully not attach.
Yeah, not attached. Not the human centipede. No, please. He already attached himself.
I do not want to see a Formula 3000.
The entire IGP Fun lobby coming together to form one massive Formula 3
Do not
car.
do that. Do not do that.
I mean, some of them have already tried it this race by crashing into each other. But, I mean, nevertheless, Richard Van Veen just starting to edge away from Samuel Herman now. As without that slipstream, there's nothing Sam can do, really. You can see on the straight, he's losing like 3-4 tenths of a second. And,
well, other interesting facts about this race. Alex Lato, he keeps P3. It'll be his first podium in 8 months. And also, Lucas Marouk this will be his first podium of the season. If he keeps like that, there's a car in the wall in the background. That is Devon Kearns.
Again, already seen him in the wall.
And that is the 52 wanting to join him. That's Jason Wilkinson.
Jump scare. What the? I did not see him anywhere. Oh my lord.
Was that Maroon? Later, it was one of the top cars that almost had contact with them. I think, but this is the 49 right on the back of Wilkinson, and that is Stu Millen. He's gone into a mistake, and now they're into a fight. We got slow traffic into the middle of the chicane. The 52 is going slower than slow. It's like watching a hermit crab trying to walk out of the ocean right there. Literally no speed whatsoever, and almost a collision in that small chicane. But here comes Stu Millen. Millen looking down to the inside of the 52 of Wilkinson. Side by side they go. Wilkinson around the outside. Millen side by side right there. The elbows are out, and they got to watch out because the 22 is right behind him. And that's QTR Marteau right in front of our race leader. And the blue flags are up. Marteau's almost got blocked by a great wall right there. He's gone the outside. Now he's going to the inside. And Marteau, probably heart in the mouth for Moen right there, but also look out behind him because chaos is happening between these 3 cars. We almost went 3 wide for a little bit as we go side by side heading to the chicane. Everyone's going to have to watch the break point. Look out behind them because that is Reed Dennis, the Texan. He wants to have a little bit of fun, as well as Chuck Morrow. He's also in there as well. We got a nice 4-car fight right now in the fight for 20th place here at... I forgot the name of this track.
I honestly, when Marteau
I almost called this Zolder circuit.
I genuinely...
Zolder.
I'm not even kidding. I held my breath when Marteau was passing them. I cannot imagine how that must have made him feel. That was so close, but what is close right now is this battle, as Austin was kindly saying, the battle for 20th place between Stu Milne, Wilkinson, Dennis, and Morrow. Morrow trying to eye up Dennis in front of him. He now pulls to the outside. Not the ideal line to overtake through this corner. Reed Dennis doing some...
Too much mustard for Chuck Morrow. Oh, Chuck. He had the line and he went for it, but unfortunately it was too much and too fast. Too much mustard right there. And a big slide.
That's what happens when you try and go very fast through turn 1 on 30-lap old Hankook Formula 3 tyres. It does not end well, and you end up facing the stadium instead. But these guys will hopefully not be wanting to face the stadium, as Stu Mill trying to defend from Wilkinson behind the 52. Having a pretty average race, been involved in a few incidents of his own, but nevertheless trying to come back now and get himself up into the top 20. I can't really tell where his top overtaking spot will be. That hairpin not really an overtaking spot as Adam Talsma. Adam Talsma in pit lane. Not quite sure what's happened to him, but Wilkinson now with the slipstream is going to try most likely a move into turn 1. He's about a 1/10.5 back. He's gaining ever more, but is just a little bit too far back.
Too shallow of an opportunity. He's going to have to go for that hairpin move.
Yeah,
a little bit of a missed line up ahead of him. Millen squaring off the first corner and not the second corner right there. And I thought Jason Wilkinson could have gone for a double overtake. They're closing in on Joseph Garalova. Mr. Joseph Garalova up ahead of him. Lap car, lap traffic, the 77 again. And Jason is, well, I thought he was just being tentative. And look at that, Jason cutting the chicane. I think we're having flashbacks in the back of his head of what happened last time he was side by side and he decided to take the escape route and just cut the track right there and just take the 1X and have everybody go around him right there. But that is, such a tight moment. We almost had that happen once again. But Stu Millen versus Wilkinson in the fight for 19th right now.
Yeah, because of that pit stop from Adam Talsma, again, not 100% sure what happened. It's now the battle for 19th, but Samuel Hermer back up into 15th. He, again, with half a front wing, this man, had he not had his earlier incidents, probably could have been fighting for a podium right now, but hey-ho, and that's Rollins. Another incident for the number 51. He was up there until I think you jinxed him.
He was up 23 positions. Actually, no, he was... Oh, no! Hermer in the wall!
And that pretty much sums up Samuel Hermer's day, if I'm going to...
Well, that broken front wing is now a broken everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much Samuel Hermer's race over. Yeah.
Oh, he can't try that car. He can't try that car.
No, you can see the car crabbing all over the place. He now has a double front wing damage. As if his damage wasn't bad enough. It's now even worse, and he will be even slower in a straight line.
Now with this little laps to go, is Hermer the type of driver to continue on with this and just carry on to the end, or go into the pits and accept his losses?
I think you and I both know the answer to that question.
Yes.
He's not going to pit, surely. Yep, he's not going to pit.
Wow. Well, this is an uphill battle for Samuel Hermer, but he's going to continue on with it. He's going to be in a fight with Pudicas right behind him, which is about 3 seconds behind him. And speaking of behind him, this fight is still going on for 19th. Millen versus Wilkinson. Go a little bit side by side and a little bit of slide and action through turn 1. This is a beauty of a fight. And also Westman and Lato are still in that fight for podium position. Lato going for his first podium of in 8 months, and Westman going for his first podium in a long time.
I don't think we've actually ever seen Westman. I mean, we might have seen Westman on the podium before, but not recently. Not at all recently. I don't remember the last time he got a podium. But Loedo, for the first time, might be in 2 seasons they'll get a podium. Westman, maybe for the first time. We're going to find out. This battle has been going on pretty much the entire race. It's about 0.3 of a second. Westman, as I was saying, pretty much just has to be very smart, taking a lot of that curb through the turn 5 and 6 chicane, and he just has to be smart here. I think Loedo probably is under more pressure than he is, so I mean it's quite easy to defend around this track, but then again, if Westman can pick up the pace, you never know what's going to happen. We've got 2 laps to go. Marto starting his penultimate lap. And when these guys cross the line, they will be starting their penultimate lap as well. And I do not know who's going to come out on top. Austin, what are your predictions?
I do not know between these two. But I believe Westman has a little bit of the advantage. We got a slow car on the at the wall. And I feel like Lato was trying to use that as a little bit of a tailgate trap and just move out of the way at the right moment, and trying to bait Westman, Nicholas Westman, into that mistake. And Westman, he has had 1 podium. He's looking for his 2nd podium.
Oh, there you go. I have been corrected. Westman trying to get his 2nd podium. Do you know when the last time it was when he got a podium?
I am on the vehicle tool provided by Adam Talsma. and I asked, I asked for how many wins, top 10s, top 5s, and podiums. I do not know what it was.
Well, I'm going to hazard a guess. It wasn't in a long time, and I think you'll agree with me. Austin agrees.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I am agreeing with you.
And it is white flag for QT Marteau, the man who has led almost every single lap. He had a little bit of ding-donging with Maruk in the early stages of this race, but as soon as he got ahead, he's been nigh on unbeatable.
It was last season. That's fine.
Oh, well, there you go. It took us long enough to find out. Marteau, the man who I am actually allowed to tell you will be leaving Delta Sports at the end of this season. It will be his final race with the team. Not the final race, you know what I mean? The last season with the team. And I'm not allowed to say where he'll be going to, but you'll be able to know within time. But as we cut away from
Way under pressure by Barris.
Yeah, the steel battle's going on throughout the field, and I did not see this battle coming. It sort of just sprung out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think Way has had a little bit of an incident, and it's just fallen into Victor Barris's hand.
Yeah, I think this track is easy to make mistakes on, but it's the last lap, guys. Come on. I mean, it is. Oh, he goes over the curb.
Oh! Over the curb, and that's a mistake by Way. Here goes Barris down towards the inside, and Barris up into 6th place.
Yeah, Evan Way surely made a mistake beforehand, but Otto wins in Zolder, getting redemption for last season. Congrats to him. Maruk getting his first podium of the season. Can Laredo hold on to get his first podium in
Yes,
8
he
months?
does.
He can.
And it is win number 36 for Q Thiago Marteau, as well as pole number 43. The most winningest driver in iGPFun. But we're still racing right here. Luca Verani taking a note out of Simone Fessi's book with a move at the hairpin down towards the inside. That's a 77 getting out of the way of Steven Ritters up ahead of the Verani under pressure by Andy Flint. Flint getting a good opportunity to switch back, but it's just too little too late. Verani makes the move for 11th. And ooh, hello. Almost a little Code Brown moment at the end of the straightaway. Verani in 11th. And this is heartbreak for Samuel Hermer as that crabbing car has gone from crab to squid.
I see what you did there, but every single car up to 16th place was lapped. Wow, we had a 52 car grid at the start of this race, and 2/3 of it was lapped. If that doesn't say how chaotic this race has been, I don't know what has. But wow,
it's impressive. It really is impressive. And that was a fantastic race for our top 3 and a chaotic race, I think, for the top 10 as drive the car back. This is going to be one of the races we look back on and just think. I think he's just showing off right now. He's not on purposely doing. He's on purposely doing that.
I think, I don't know if he's impressed that he managed to finish in 17th with this amount of damage, but it was an impressive drive, but also not in the sense that he made a lot of mistakes.
One of the cars parking into the fuel pumps reserved for the Enduro series.
These guys have gone off their nut. I don't know what's going on.
I think they've gone off their rocker. We've gone off our rocker, and they're doing donuts. It's not the end of the season yet, guys. Calm down.
Still got what? I think 2 races left.
Yeah, we do.
We have Road America and Barcelona. We're not done.
Gosh.
We've got 2 races of this thing left before it's out. But let's get on to the race results of this. I don't even want to call this a race. This thing that just happened. Marteau, your race winner, of course, for the 1 millionth time, it seems I'm saying that. Lucas Maruk gets his first podium this season. The defending champ putting on a pretty good performance, all things considered. Laredo getting his first podium in a long time. Westman just missing out. Alistair Hay putting himself into the top 5. Good result for him. Victor Barris, then Evan Way, Pedro Soares, Simon Fessy. Very impressive result for him, coming in 9th place. Stephen Ryder's in the top 10. And then Luca Varani, Andy Flint, Zoltan Zamota, Marcelo Kessler, Richard Van Veen, Antonio Jimenez. Samuel Hermer down in 17th place. Not really the way he wanted to end this race, but hey-ho, you've got 2 more races to make a comeback. Marcius Putinix, Jason Wilkinson, Stuart Milne, Chuck Morrow, Reed Dennis, John McKenzie, Adam Talsma, Linus Malm. Then we've got Patrick Rollins, Irvin Tumulakans, Christian Glamsetter. Disappointing for him after starting in 5th, down in 28th. Robert Ridgway, Dorian Arroyo, Nick Carty, Marix Osalovs, Martin Devine, Daniel Lem, Arturo Mayorga, Devon Kearns having a fairly eventful race as well from him. Matthew Brewer having also a very crash-prone race. The 77 of Joseph Gravola, Brett Thorman, Shady Ahmad, then Max Bartolota having also a pretty disappointing race. Paolo Brem, Podopenko, Rollinson, Clark Williams, Neuenhoff, Punzengruber, Jerome Lamy, the championship rival to Motto, having a very disappointing round, and puts Motto with one hand on the trophy already. Lee Aberdeen, Julio Policio, Gaten Imhoff, and then your man who didn't start the race, Kuji Itoa. Oh my lord, I made it through that. I'm proud. Chaotic race is an understatement. Jesus Christ.
Well, I would say Zolder is in the bag for all these drivers. Some of them had a good race. Some of them had a race to forget. But I'm pretty sure all of us here had a smile on our face at one point or another. This was a race of attrition for sure. Biggest mover was John McKenzie, up 24 spots. And our race winner for the 36th time, Tiago Marteau. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on iGPFun, here on Apex Racing TV. Thank you to VRS and SRP Sim Racing Pro for all your best sim racing needs. I've been joined by Aaron Smith with Samuli Kumo in the production booth. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.